Thank you very much, everybody. We've had a great 3 days at the United Nations in New York, and this is quite a gathering. Wow. It's a lot of people, a lot of media. We've covered a great deal of territory. Just left, as you know, Prime Minister Abe of Japan. We're starting trade talks with Japan. They were not willing for years to talk trade, and now they're willing to talk trade, and I'm sure we'll make a very good deal. Just concluded, as you know, 2 days ago, signed a deal with South Korea, trade deal, tremendous deal with South Korea. It means a lot of business for our farmers. We're opening up for farmers. We're opening up for a lot of different groups. We're going to be able to sell much more than double the number of automobiles that we were allowed under a deal that was totally defective, that was there before. And so we're very happy with that. That deal is actually concluded. We're very well along the way with Mexico. The relationship is very good. And with Canada, we'll see what happens. They're charging us 300% tariffs on dairy products. We can't have that. We can't have that. With China, as you know, we put out an announcement today. They would like to see me lose an election because they've never been challenged like this. But I want to open up China to our farmers and to our industrialists and our companies. And China is not open, but we're open to them. They charge us 25, 35, 55% for things, and we charge them nothing in terms of coming into the country. Cars, they're at 25%, and we're at 2% and 2.5%, and don't even collect it, but we collect it now. So we're doing very well in our situation with China on trade. I have a great relationship with the president of China, President Xi, but it's got to be a two-way street. It, for 25 years and longer, was not. And trillions of dollars was taken out of the United States for the benefit of China. We just can't have that. We have to make it fair. So we're at $250 billion now at 25% interest, and a lot of money is coming into our coffers. And it's had no impact on our, absolutely, by the way, no impact on our economy, which I said it wouldn't. In fact, steel is like the hottest industry there is. If you look at what happened with steel, we're charging a 25% tariff for the dumpers. They dump massive amounts of steel. They want to put the steel companies out of business, and after they're out of business, they'll come in and charge 5 times more than you ever thought possible. And we need steel, and we need aluminum, and those industries are doing well, but steel is incredible. U.S. Steel is opening up a minimum of 8 plants. Nucor is opening up plants, and these are big plants, $750 million and $1 billion plants in some cases. So what's happening with the steel industry is very exciting to me. It's being rebuilt overnight. If you look at the miners and coal, if you look at energy, LNG, Japan just gave us some numbers that are incredible. They're doubling the amount that they're going to be buying for Japan. They're taking the LNG and they're doubling it up. I said, you have to do me a favor. We don't want these big deficits. You're going to have to buy more. They're buying massive amounts of equipment and military equipment, and other countries are doing the same thing because we have trade imbalances with almost everybody. It's a rare exception that we don't. So we are doing great as a country. Unfortunately, they just raised interest rates a little bit because we are doing so well. I'm not happy about that because I know it's going to be a question. I am not happy about that. I'd rather pay down debt or do other things, create more jobs. So I'm worried about the fact that they seem to like raising interest rates. We can do other things with the money. But they raised them. And they're raising them because we're doing so well. You know, we're doing much better than I had projected in terms of when I was campaigning. I said we were going to do this, and we're doing much better than anybody ever thought possible. And I will say if others got in, it would have been just the opposite because they were going to put restrictions on, they were going to put regulations on, they were going to choke the economy as it was already choking, but it would have been worse, and they were going to raise your taxes. That's what they want to do now if they ever got control. which I don't think they'll have control for a long time. So with that being said, we'll take some questions. And yes, please. John, go ahead. We have plenty of time.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Of course, what you're looking forward to tomorrow is the hearings with Judge Kavanaugh before the Judiciary Committee.
Yes.
In 1991, when Joe Biden passed along to the Bush 41 White House the allegations that Anita Hill had raised against Clarence Thomas, the Bush White House asked the FBI to look into it as part of Judge Thomas's background investigation. Not a criminal investigation, but the background investigation. When these allegations were raised, why didn't this White House do the same thing? And with all of the allegations that are coming out now about Judge Kavanaugh, was there an opportunity missed here to have investigators look into this and get some sort of clarity one way or the other?
Well, the FBI told us they've investigated Judge Kavanaugh 6 times, 5 times, many times over the years. They know him very well. But here there was nothing to investigate from at least one standpoint. They didn't know the location. They didn't know the time. They didn't know the year. They didn't know anything. And it's like, where do you go? Also, it's not for the FBI. If you look at what Joe Biden said, he said they don't do this. And he said it very clearly. So I think when you really look at it all, it's not going to change any of the Democrats' minds. They're obstructionists. They're actually con artists because they know how quality this man is, and they've destroyed a man's reputation, and they want to destroy it even more. And I think people are going to see that in the midterms, what they've done to this family, what they've done to these children, these beautiful children of his, and what they've done to his wife. And they know it's a big, fat con job. And they go into a room, and I guarantee you, they laugh like hell at what they pulled off on you and on the public. They laugh like hell. So it wouldn't have mattered if the FBI came back with the cleanest score, and you understand that very well, John. If they would have come back with the most perfect, we found everything, and he's perfectly innocent of everything, it wouldn't have made a difference. You wouldn't have gotten one vote. Now, we will get votes from the Democrats if we win. You'll have 3, 4, or 5 Democrats giving us votes because they're in states that I won by 30 and 40 points, and they're going to give us votes. But other than that, you probably won't get any, John. Yes, go ahead, please.
Mr. President, there are now 3 women accusing Judge Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. Are you saying that all 3 of those women are liars? Is there anything that could be said at this hearing tomorrow that could cause you to withdraw the nomination? Anything at all that...
I won't get into that game. I only tell you this. This is one of the highest quality people that I've ever met. And everybody that knows him says the same thing. And these are all false to me. These are false accusations in certain cases, and certain cases, even the media agrees with that. I can only say that what they've done to this man is incredible. You know, it's very interesting. I pick a lot of judges. I have 145 judges I will be picking by the end of a fairly short period of time because President Obama wasn't big on picking judges. When I got there, I said, how is this possible? I have 145, including Court of Appeals judges. And they just didn't do it. You know why? They got tired. They got complacent. Something happened. I have 145 judges. Everybody wants to be a federal judge, not just a Supreme Court judge. I'm talking about Court of Appeals. I'm talking about district court. I don't think they're going to want to so much. I'll be calling people, and we'll have people calling people that do this. And people are going to be scared because we could say it about you. 35 years ago, you met, and you might not know what's going on. What is going on? Why did they wait so long? Why did Senator Feinstein wait till the hearings were over and make this case? Why didn't she bring it right at the beginning? When you ask about, as an example, the FBI, why didn't they bring this right at the beginning, during the hearing? You would have had all the time in the world for the FBI. It would have been fine. Now, the FBI, as you know, did investigate this time, as they have 5 or 6 other times. And they did a very thorough investigation. But this is a big con job. And I would love to be in the room with the Democrats, close the door, you guys are all away outside waiting, and Schumer and his buddies are all in there laughing how they fooled you all. Let's just stop them. A big fat con. Yeah, go ahead.
But Mr. President, if I could follow up, you have daughters. Can you understand why a victim of sexual assault would not report it at the time? Don't you understand?
By the way, I only say this. 36 years, no charge, no nothing.
But
Everybody,
that happens often. I mean,
people are going to have to make a decision. 36 years, there's no charge. All of a sudden, the hearings are over, and the rumors start coming out. And then you have this other con artist, Avenatti, come out with another beauty today. I only say that you have to look at the facts. The senators are very capable people. They're very good people. I know many of them. They're friends of mine. These are very talented, very good people. And they're going to vote. They're going to have to believe what they believe. When I look at what's happened to the reputation of a great gentleman, a great intellect, a brilliant man, somebody that has a chance to be one of our great Supreme Court justices in history, intellectually, I think it's a shame. Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. President, my name is Tomas Regalado from Radio and TV Marti. Mr.
Okay.
President, yesterday at the speech at the UN, you spoke about how Venezuela's problem was because of Cuba and the Castros, how they went in there and they brought socialism and communism to Venezuela and now to Nicaragua as well. Mr. President, are you going to be more proactive now against Cuba as well?
I've been very proactive against Cuba. I don't like what's happening in Cuba. As you know, President Obama gave them a pass, and I didn't like it. Neither do Cuban people based in Miami and based in our country that came from Cuba and suffered in Cuba. I don't like what he did. I've ended much of it, most of it. I don't like what's happening in Cuba, and I certainly don't like what's happening in Venezuela. Yes,
Mr.
please.
President.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, just to finish really fast, you said also that you had a call to action to ask the leaders around the world to also end socialism. Would you like to be recognized as a
Well, I wouldn't say that socialism has been working really well around the world. Okay, you can take a look at Venezuela as your number one, I guess the one that's most obvious, but you take a look around the world, socialism is not exactly riding high. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. If you don't mind, after I'm finished, if Ouija or Hallie or Vivian or one of our female colleagues could go after me, that would be great. Mr. President, just to follow up on these allegations against Brett Kavanaugh.
What does he mean by that? Explain. What does that mean?
I think it would be great if a female
What does it mean? No, what does it
I think
mean?
it would be great if a female reporter would ask you a question about this issue. So if you don't mind,
I wouldn't mind that at all, no. Wouldn't mind it at all.
All right, well, let me, if I could
Wouldn't make
follow
any
up.
difference to me.
All right.
Go ahead.
If I could follow up on John and John's question, why is it, Mr. President, that you always seem to side with the accused and not the accuser? You have three women here who are all making allegations, who are all asking that their stories be heard. And, you know, if you look at the case of Roy Moore, if you look at the case of one of your staffers, you seem to time and again side with the accused and not the accuser. Is that because of the many allegations that you've had made against you over the years?
Well, first of all, I wasn't happy with Roy Moore. Let's get that straight. But Roy Moore was a Republican candidate, and I would have rather had a Republican candidate win. I was very happy with Luther Strange, who was a terrific man from Alabama, but Luther Strange had a lot of things going against him. As far as women, whether it's a man or a woman, these are, you know, it can happen the other way. Allegations can go the other way also. You understand that. And whether it was a man or a woman, 30 years ago, 36 years ago, in fact, they don't even know how many years ago because nobody knows what the time is. That's a long time. And I could pick, as an example, hopefully I won't have to do it as a replacement, because hopefully this is going to go very well on Thursday. It's going to go very well on Monday or Saturday or Sunday or whenever they vote. But I could pick a woman, and she could have charges made from many years ago also.
But don't you
And
understand,
I
sir,
would
that
look
many
at
of
the
these,
character.
many of
No,
these
what I have to
accusers
do.
are reluctant to come forward. You've raised doubts about these accusers. Many of them.
I don't think people are reluctant to come forward. They're going to have a chance to speak at a. They have a major
You're
chance to
saying
speak.
why
Excuse
35
me.
years later?
They have a major chance to speak, and it will be tomorrow, I assume. We've delayed this, meaning the Republican senators, not me. The Republican senators have delayed this for weeks now. They're giving the women a major chance to speak. Now, it's possible I'll hear that and I'll say, hey, I'm changing my mind. That is possible. We want to give them a chance to speak.
You think all three
and they're
should have the
given.
chance? All three should have the chance to
Well,
speak?
whoever is given a chance, we've delayed it a long time, but they're going to have a big shot at speaking and making their case. And you know what? I could be persuaded also. Okay? Yes, please. Please, go ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to go. Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And
Thank
a couple
you.
of questions for you to follow up on some answers that I didn't quite hear from you, if you would allow me a couple of questions. First of all, do you think these women, all three of them, are liars? Yes or no?
Have they been what?
Are they liars?
I can't tell you. I have to watch tomorrow. I have to read. I just heard about one a little while ago. I can tell you her lawyer is a lowlife, okay? So I can't tell you whether or not they're liars until I hear them. I don't know what happened today because I've been very busy with Japan, with South Korea, with China, and about 7 other countries, as you know. And I chaired the Security Council. So I don't know about today's person that came forward. I do know about the lawyer. And you don't get much worse, bad reputation to take a look at his past. So as far as the other women are concerned, I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. You know, believe it or not, I'm going to see what's said.
So
it's possible that they will be convincing. Now, with all of that being said, Judge Brett Kavanaugh has been for many years one of the most respected people in Washington. He's been on, I guess you'd call it, the second highest court. And every single person knows him. A lot of people know him well. And those people don't believe what's going on. I can always be convinced. I have to hear it.
It sounds like what you're saying is there is a situation, there is a scenario under which you would withdraw Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Is that correct?
If I thought
he was,
he was guilty of something like this, yeah, sure.
And you will wait until tomorrow to make up your
I
mind.
want to
about it?
watch. I want to see. I hope I can watch. I'm meeting with a lot of countries tomorrow, but I will certainly in some form be able to watch. And I'll also rely on some very fair and talented Republican senators who, look, if we brought George Washington here and we said, we have George Washington, the Democrats would vote against him, just so you understand. And he may have had a bad past. Who knows, you know? He may have had some, I think, accusations made. Didn't he have a couple of things in his past? George Washington would be voted against 100% by Schumer and the con artists. I mean, 100%, 100%. So it really doesn't matter from their standpoint. That's why when John asked about the FBI, if the FBI did the most thorough investigation in the history of the FBI and they found him to be 100% perfect, he would lose every single vote. Now, if the Republicans win tomorrow, I think you're going to get some votes from the Democrats. You know why? Because we all know why, because it's called politics. Then you'll probably get some votes. Okay, let's go. One more question? Yes.
Just to follow up
she stands
again.
up. I'd like to ask about 3 questions. It's not really fair to everyone else,
This will
but
be
should
my
I let
last
her
one
ask another
to
question?
Follow up on.
Go ahead. See?
To follow up on a question that a colleague asked as well about the benefit of the doubt that you have given to people like Roy Moore, to Roger Ailes, to Bill O'Reilly, to Brett Kavanaugh. They're all men. Why is that?
It's not a benefit of the
Has there
doubt.
ever been an instance when you've given the benefit of the doubt
I've known
to a
them,
woman?
Haley, I've known them for a long time. And a lot of these people. A lot of people. And some I've been disappointed with. I have been disappointed with some. Others, you know, there are charges that are pretty weak. But I've known people for a long time. I never saw them do anything wrong. I never saw them do anything wrong. And there are some that probably I agree. I can tell you there are some that I've been watching for a long time. And in a couple of cases, they weren't Republicans. In a lot of cases, they were not. They were exactly the opposite. But I've been watching them for a long time. And I knew for a long time these were not good people, and they were never brought up. Okay, yes, ma'am, go ahead. Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
Mr.
you.
President. When the allegations first surfaced, you initially said how important it was for Dr. Ford to testify and that you wanted to hear from her.
I do.
But
I wish
you
it could have
also-
gone quicker.
Well, you also said that if what she said were as bad as she claims, surely her or her parents would have reported it. And just today you said you would
Well,
have
there is a
pushed
truth.
the-
I mean, there is
Well,
a chance that her parents could have reported it 36 years ago.
So my question is...
It doesn't mean they had to report it, because in some instances people keep it quiet. It's a very tough situation for a woman. There's no question about it. And in some cases they do report it. Frankly, had they reported it, it would have been pretty amazing, wouldn't it? But I guess they didn't, and that's okay. I'm not saying they had to report it, because it's a very personal thing. It's a very big problem. There's no question about it. Go ahead.
Do you want to hear her story before
I'd like
you
to hear
draw
her story, yeah.
conclusion,
Well, we're
or
giving her
have you
time.
already made up your mind?
They would have given her time last week. This is the United States Senate. This is the most important position that a president can give out, I think we can say by far. I've actually heard it's the most important decision a president can make. I disagree with that. War and peace. I always say war and peace. And after that, Supreme Court justice, right? I look forward to hearing from her. We could have heard from her last week. We could have heard from her for a long time. It'll be interesting to hear what she has to say. Okay?
And let me follow up on Jim's question. Mr. President, let me follow up on Jim's question that I don't think we got an answer to.
Which one? Which question?
How
Who?
have your personal experiences being accused by more than a dozen
I've been accused.
women of
I've been
sexual
accused.
misconduct?
False accusations.
Right.
Excuse me.
How have those...
I've been accused. And I was accused by, I believe it was 4 women. You can check with Sean Hannity. You can check with Fox, because they covered it very strongly.
And
Who
how
got
have
paid?
those
Excuse me.
shaped-
Excuse me. I was accused by 4 or 5 women who got paid a lot of money to make up stories about me. We caught them, and the mainstream media refused to put it on television. They refused to even write about it. There were 4 women, and maybe more. I think the number is 4 or 5. But one had a mortgage paid off her house, $52,000. Another one had other things happen. And the one that reported it, I believe, was offered $700.
All right, folks, welcome. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times. So you're going to see a screen that says live stream starting soon as I get some stuff ready so we can both watch the Trump rally in West Virginia. So give me 1 second while I get everything ready. It should start. I should have the footage soon, and we'll go on from there. Thank you so much for choosing us as your stream of choice. Please share the stream on social media.
$150,000
and we'll
to
go
say
on from
bad
there.
things
Thank you.
about me. And she is the one that reported it. This woman is incredible. She reported it instead of taking the money. So I've had numerous accusations about me.
Right.
They made false statements about me, knowing they were false. I never met them. I never met these people. And what did they do? What did they do? They took money in order to say bad things. I've had stories written in the New York Times front page about 4 women, the whole top center front page of the New York Times. I think it was 4 big pictures. I said, wow, that's a big thing. What's that? These were women.
All right, folks, so we have footage from inside the venue where President Trump is having his rally. I'm going to put it up on your screen right now, so just give me a second while we get that footage up for you, and we'll go on from there. Thank you so much for choosing us as your stream of choice. Please share the stream on social media, and President Donald Trump is having his rally right now in West Virginia, so give me a second as I have to... Here we go. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to be putting it up on your screen right now, and there it is. Thank you so much again for choosing us as your stream of choice, and I'll see you guys on the chat.
song, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cages loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along.
That were quoted saying bad things about me. Not the worst things about me, but bad things. And I said, gee, that's too bad. I knew him a long time ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I said, that's too bad. I'm surprised at them. And then all of a sudden I see him on television, nothing to do with me. The next day or day later, they were incensed. They said, Donald Trump is a nice guy. We never said this. The New York Times did false reporting. They're fake news. And you know what? The New York Times would not report that their story was fake. These women said great things. Not only did they not say the bad stuff, they said great things about me. Front page. And those women, they're incredible women. They went on television, and they didn't want to, and I didn't ask them. And they said the New York Times made it up. They gave false quotes. And they went on a lot of shows. They were really incensed, and they couldn't believe it. That's why people know that a lot of the news is fake, and a lot of the people sitting here are fake. But 20% of them are wonderful, okay?
If I could just actually ask
ahead,
my
please.
question, Mr. Trump. You didn't let me ask my question.
You've
My
been asking a
was-
question for 10
No, you
minutes.
interrupted
Please
my
sit down.
question.
Please,
I'm
go ahead.
asking you,
Go
how
ahead.
did those impact your opinions on the allegations against
Well, it does
Judge
impact my opinion. You know
Kavanaugh?
why? Because I've had a lot of false charges made against me. I'm a very famous person, unfortunately. I've been a famous person for a long time. But I've had a lot of false charges made against me, really false charges. I know friends that have had false charges. People want fame, they want money, they want whatever. So when I see it, I view it differently than somebody sitting home watching television where they say, oh, Judge Kavanaugh, this or that. It's happened to me many times. I've had many false charges. I had a woman sitting in an airplane, and I attacked her while people were coming onto the plane, and I have a #1 bestseller out. I mean, it was a total phony story. There are many of them. So when you say, does it affect me in terms of my thinking with respect to Judge Kavanaugh? Absolutely, because I've had it many times. And if the news would have reported these 4 people, I couldn't believe it. When I heard that they caught these 4 people, I said, wow, that's a big story. And it was for Fox. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier today and just now, you made a significant allegation against the Chinese government. You suggested that the Chinese had meddled in or are meddling
That's right.
in
That's
the
what I hear.
2018 midterm election.
That's what I hear.
What evidence do you have of that, sir? Is there a national
We have
intelligence
evidence.
estimate,
We
for
have
example, that
evidence.
you're
It'll
prepared
come
to put
out.
forward?
Yeah, I can't tell you now, but it didn't come out of nowhere that I can tell you. Now,
Why make
if
the
you,
charge
they've
now?
actually admitted that they're going after farmers. I mean, I think most of you can cover that. I like that you're shaking your head. Yes, I'm going to ask you the next question because of that, okay? It's probably going to be the killer of all questions. But
Why
let
make
me
the
just
charge
explain.
now if you're
No,
not
let
prepared to
me-
come forward with the evidence, sir?
China now, we put on $250 billion, and they're paying 25% on that. They're paying billions and billions. This has never happened to China. And I like China, and I like President Xi a lot. I think he's a friend of mine. He may not be a friend of mine anymore, but I think he probably respects. From what I hear, if you look at Mr. Pillsbury, the leading authority on China, he was on a good show. I won't mention the name of the show recently, and he was saying that China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. He said, Donald Trump, they don't know what to do. Never happened. Well, one thing they are trying to do is they're trying to convince people to go against Donald Trump, because a normal, regular political person that has no concept of what the hell he's doing would let China continue to take $500 billion a year out of our country and rebuild their country. I mean, they were building 29 massive bridges, like the George Washington Bridge. They're building things that we don't build anymore, but we're starting to build them again. And our economy now is hotter than it's ever been. I don't know if you saw the confidence levels this morning that just came out. Fantastic. And in all fairness to the Fed raising rates, they're raising rates because we've never done like we're doing now. And one of the things that is nice about the rates, the people that were hurt the worst by these zero interest rates, and you know, when President Obama had an economy that was the worst comeback since the Great Depression and all that, you've all heard that. But remember, he was playing with zero interest money. He was playing with funny money. That's easy. I'm playing with fairly expensive money. So when he does that, the people that benefit are people that actually, in their whole life, they would save 10, 15, 20% of their salary, put it in the bank. Those people got killed because they put their money in the bank. They were going to live off the interest, and there was no interest. Now those people are starting to get interest. And those are the people, frankly, that deserve to, you know, they did a great job. The people that did it right, the people that did the best job got hurt the most. So in one sense, I like it, but basically, I'm a low interest rate person, I hate to tell you. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. President,
yes.
You have another meeting tomorrow with Rod Rosenstein.
Yes.
Are you planning to fire Rod Rosenstein?
I'm talking to him. We've had a good talk. He said he never said it. He said he doesn't believe it. He said he has a lot of respect for me. And he was very nice, and we'll see. And he's a member of the Trump administration in that sense. It's the Justice Department. I would certainly prefer not doing that. There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. I mean, unless you call obstruction the fact that I fight back, I do fight back. I really fight back. I mean, if you call that obstruction, that's fine. But there's no obstruction. There's no collusion. I'm going to meet with him tomorrow. I may call Rod tonight or tomorrow and ask for a little bit of a delay to the meeting because I don't want to do anything that gets in the way of this very important Supreme Court pick. So I don't want it competing and hurting the decision, one way or the other decision. Again, I want to hear what she has to say, but I don't want to do. So I may delay that. I'm going to see. I don't want to do anything that's going to conflict with that. But my preference would be to keep him and to let him finish up. You know, I call it a witch hunt, and it is a witch hunt. If you look at the FBI statements with Strzok and his lover, Lisa Page, if you look at all of the things that have gone on in the FBI, if you look at McCabe taking $700,000 from a Hillary Clinton PAC, essentially run by Terry McAuliffe, who's her best friend in the world, and he gives them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he's in charge of her campaign, and his wife is getting all of this money to run. She lost. To run. I mean, what's going on? If you look at the horrible statements, like, way to go, Page, great story you put into a newspaper, essentially, now we'll go and investigate that group. It's terrible. We have caught people doing things that are terrible. I would much prefer keeping Rod Rosenstein. Much prefer. Many people say I have the right to absolutely fire him. He said he did not say it. He said he does not believe that. And nobody in this room believes it. By the way, I deal with the people in this room. I was with Mike Pompeo before. We were dealing at a very high level with Japan. And I was saying things that nobody in the room even understood. And I said to him a long time ago, and I was right. He said, that's not the 25th Amendment that I'm looking at. I think I can say that from Mike.
So you don't think anyone in your administration has ever discussed using the 25th Amendment against you?
I don't think so. Oh, well, yeah, enemies, sure. You use
within
anything
your
you can.
administration or your cabinet?
You use anything they can. They're not in love with me. They're not going to beat me in the election. They know that. They're not going to beat me. The people that I'm looking at are total lightweights. I dream of running against those
But
people.
within
Maybe
your
they'll come up with somebody
administration?
that's not. They're not going to beat me. I'm against what they want to do. I'm in favor of law enforcement. I'm in favor of safety and security and low taxes. I want low taxes. I want borders. We're getting another $1.6 billion in borders. I want borders. We've spent 3.2 and we're getting another 1.6, and then eventually we're getting the whole thing and we'll complete the wall. They don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want the things that I have. Now, I must say, I know many of the Democrats. They'll say things and then wink at me. And again, it's the same old story. They'll say things, they don't mean it. It's politics. The reason they don't want me is because they want to run the show. They want it. It's power, it's whatever you want to call it. But what they've done here is a disgrace, a total disgrace. And what they do, I know it's sort of interesting. In one case, they say, he's a fascist, he's taking over the government, he's the most powerful president ever, he's a horrible human being, he wants to take over the entire government and he's going to do it, we can't stop him. That didn't work. The next week, he said,
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cages loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army
All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. I'd like to ask if you guys can please share the live stream on social media and also smack the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. So thank you so much in advance. Thank you for the moderators coming out, keeping the chat clean and enjoyable for everyone. President Donald Trump right now is in West Virginia, so make sure you guys stay tuned. It should start soon, and we'll go on from there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the chat.
His
All right, folks, I want to come on the microphone real quick and let you guys know and say thank you for sharing the live stream on social media. I saw something that that was pretty interesting, and I didn't really think about this until right now. Someone said, I just shared this on Trump Train. So I guess that's a group. It could be Facebook, or it could be, I don't know, a board. I don't know. But if you guys are part of either a group, a board, or something on Reddit or something like that, if you guys are part of it, if you guys can please share this link of this live stream on any board or group or closed group or anything like that, or Reddit or anything like that, if you guys can share it on there, that would be amazing, along with sharing it on social media. So if you guys can please help us, that will be amazing. We're not right now. We're just asking for you folks to please share this live stream on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, through email, through text message, post it on a board, post it on a subreddit, post it on something on 4chan. I can care less where you guys put it. But if you guys can help us, we need as much help right now as we can possibly get. And that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I just want to say a quick thank you to the person that they contributed through Super Chat. I'm sorry I didn't get to see it. I noticed it when it was already coming off, so I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much for your support on Super Chat.
Virginia. Hello. What a great song. How good is that song? In this incredible state with thousands of hardworking American patriots. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The people of West Virginia love our country. They honor our history, and they always respect our great American flag. And this is a truly amazing time for our nation. Our economy is booming like never before. Remember I told you. And by the way, your state is booming like never before. Poverty is plummeting. Our stock market is soaring. Reached its all-time high, by the way, in history, which I view as jobs, jobs, jobs. All-time high. And our great coal miners are back to work. They're back to work. A lot of people said that wasn't going to happen. You're back to work. Not only back to work, they're opening up mines all over the place. We're opening up steel mills. And the steel mills need metallurgic coal. And those coal miners are working, and the steel workers are working, and our whole country is working. We're taking care of our veterans, and our military will soon be more powerful than ever before. America is winning again. And America is respected again. I just left the United Nations. Believe me, they respect us now again. They all respect us. And what are we doing? We're putting America first, finally. But a lot of what we've done, some people could say all of what we've done, is at stake in November. Always fragile. We are just 5 weeks away from one of the most important congressional elections in our lifetimes. This is one of the big, in other words, that's true. I'm not running, but I'm really running. That's why I'm all over the place fighting for great candidates. I'm fighting for great candidates. You see what's going on. You see this horrible, horrible, radical group of Democrats. You see it happening right now. And they're determined to take back power by using any means necessary. You see the meanness, the nastiness. They don't care who they hurt, who they have to run over. In order to get power and control, that's what they want, is power and control. We're not going to give it to them. We're going to keep it running the way it's been running. While Republicans are fighting every day for job, safety, opportunity, lack of crime. With them, it's crime, open borders. They've been on a mission to resist and obstruct and destroy, and you see that over the last 4 days. You see it. It's up to each of you with your precious vote. It is that. You know, in 2016, we have the same thing happening. The same thing. People are going to be very, very surprised. When you win the presidency, in theory, you're not supposed to do great in the midterm. But nobody's ever had a presidency like this because I won the presidency. Thank you. So I won the presidency, which is really we won the presidency. And we have the greatest economy that this nation has ever seen. Jobs and everything else. So we won, and we have so many things happening that are so good. So we should do well in the midterms. I can't imagine not, but you have to don't be complacent. The one thing that could happen, and the beautiful thing that's going on over the last few days in the Senate, when you see the anger, when you see people that are angry and mean and nasty and untruthful, when you look at releases and leaks and then they say, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Remember? Dianne Feinstein, did you leak? Remember her answer. Did you leak the document? What? No. No. I didn't leak. Well, wait 1 minute. Did we leak? No, we didn't leak it. I'll tell you what, that was really bad body language. Who knows? Maybe she didn't, but that was the worst body language I've ever seen. The entire nation has witnessed the shameless conduct of the Democrat Party. They're willing to throw away every standard of decency, justice, fairness, and due process to get their way. They don't care how they get it. You see it happening before your eyes. I think it's actually an incredible thing that's happening. And I just hope you don't sit home, because bad things will happen if you sit home. So now, the story will be, one wacko, the story will be tomorrow, a major protest greets Donald Trump in the great state of West Virginia. One person. He or she, I couldn't tell from the back. Let's say it was she, was very easy to get out, right? But this week, America also saw something else. On Thursday, the American people saw the brilliant and really incredible character, quality, and courage of our nominee for the United States Supreme Court, Judge Brett Kavanaugh. True. A vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh is a vote to confirm one of the most accomplished legal minds of our time, a jurist with a sterling record of public service. You know, for 10 years, he's a young guy, but for 10 years they've been talking about him. Longer than that. I didn't know him, but I've heard about him a lot, because they were all saying he should be on the United States Supreme Court. That's why I put him up. And I will tell you, he has suffered the meanness, the anger. Now, West Virginia, they did a poll, just came out. Overall, total support for Judge Kavanaugh, 58%. Total opposed, 28%. So, it's 58%, 28% opposed. That's pretty good, right? I think that's good. That's West Virginia. Republican, 81% versus 8%, but that we expect. Wow. Women, 52% to 35%. That's not bad. Men, West Virginia, 65% to 21%. That's good, right? What? Hey, it's a poll. But we love those polls, don't we? I love polls. Only when they're good. When they're not good, I don't talk about them. But they do a lot of, see, there's the fake news media. They do a lot of phony polls. They do a lot of phony polls. They do a lot of polls. They call them suppression polls. They make them bad, although our polls now are good. They're good because we're doing a lot of good work. But they make them bad, so you go to a movie instead of voting. You say, well, you know, Alice, let's go to a movie. Then we'll come home and watch the returns. Well, I'll tell you what. In 2016, nobody went to a movie. Nobody. I think the movie theaters were very empty that night, don't you think? So, some great things are happening. But a vote for Judge Kavanaugh is also a vote to reject the ruthless and outrageous tactics of the Democrat Party. Mean obstructionists, mean resistors. For the last 18 months, Democrats have spent every minute trying to overturn the results of the last election. We had one of the great, every day it's like a job. It's like part of your job description. Get up and fight them. Get up and fight them. They try and shut down our government. They're holding up 360 men and women who want to work for the government. They're not approving them. And they're highly qualified. And they're not even called nominees. They're not even controversial. These are people, you know the word slow walking? They're slow walking. So you have people trying to get in. They've left their jobs. And Schumer and all of the groups that you read about are not allowing these people to come into government. And I'm not even talking about people with a certain view. I'm talking about people that are non-controversial, including judges. They just go maximum 30 days, 30 days. If somebody's going to be approved, has to be approved, they take them. We're up to 360 people, and it's been that way the longest in the history of our country. Think of it, by far. And the most people in the history. We have the longest and the most people. Honestly, the Democrats are a disgrace. They are. They're a disgrace. And the number one enabler of the Democrats is the fake news media right back there. I'll tell you. And they really do. They stoke the fires of resentment and chaos. They report incorrect news. They report phony news. And, you know, when I say and come out with very, very strong statements about media, I'm talking about the fake news media. They are truly an enemy of the people. The fake news, enemy of the people. They really are. They are so bad. You don't even get it. You'd think they'd like low taxes. You'd think they'd like a strong military, no crime, strong borders. They don't. They don't. This November 6th, you have a chance to reject these disgraceful political hacks. But you can only do it. You got to vote Republican. I mean, we have good people. I want to get along with them, but it's impossible in many ways. It's just really tough because they're so far left. They have been taken so far left. Where Pocahontas is now considered a conservative in the Democrat Party. She's like a conservative person. Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, she's considered like a conservative person. These people, they've gone crazy. They've gone loco. We're joined today by many terrific Republican leaders, including a friend of mine, and I have to tell you, Big Jim. He is the biggest human being I think I've ever seen. Big Jim Justice. Do we like him? He's our great governor. Highest, listen, this is West Virginia. Highest ever first quarter surplus, history of West Virginia, $120.5 billion above estimate. Revenue growth by month, July up 24.1, 14.9, 16.5. Total revenue growth for West Virginia up 18%. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
I'll be short and sweet. Nobody could love this man more than I, except you, maybe. What he's done for West Virginia is off the chart. Now we've got to step up to the plate. We've got to step up. We've got to deliver him Patrick Morrisey. We've got to deliver him. We have to deliver him an absolute solid Republican Congress. Come on now, get behind him. God bless all of you.
Big Jim. That's a big man. And he's doing a great job. He really is. He's doing a great job. But look at these numbers. Hey, Jim, for July, up 24.1% revenue growth. Man. Think of that. I'll tell you, look, you people, you know, you were great to me. We won this state by 42 points. You know what 42 points is? And that's, in all fairness, it's not like an independent, that's against a Democrat. We won by 42 points. You took me in. You took me in. But I produced. I produced. These are great people. And they love not only the beautiful clean coal, they love lots of other things that we're doing well. West Virginia's back. A lot faster than even I thought it could happen. You know it. I get hugged backstage by miners. These guys are massive guys that grab me. I say, how would you like to make computer widgets? Nope, we want to dig coal, right? They have no interest in little delicate computer parts. So we also have with us the Secretary of State, Mac Warner. Thanks, Mac. Thank you. Great job. A man who I hope you can support because he's been terrific, really did a great job as a congressman, and he's going to the Supreme Court. He's going to be a justice. Evan Jenkins. Thank you, Evan. You've got to go out and vote for him. A woman that everybody respects. She is running against a total wacko. Now I've seen this person. You can't have that person in Congress. That person is stone cold crazy. A person that you know very well and everybody in West Virginia loves, Carol Miller. Pennsylvania, thanks. Good luck, Carol. I think you're in great shape from what I hear. I hope so. Pennsylvania State Senator Guy Reschenthaler. Guy. Thank you. Thanks, Guy. We're also thrilled to be joined by Ohio Congressman, a friend of mine from day one. He supported Trump when it wasn't as fashionable. Right at the beginning, he didn't go through 9 candidates and then say, oh man, finally I'm going to support this guy. We had a couple of them. They never tell me that now. They said, I supported you from the beginning. This guy really did. Bill Johnson. right across the water, and Congressman David McKinley. Great job, David. We like David, right? I like David. Thank you, fellas. Also joining us is Brooke County, West Virginia native, a good friend of mine and somebody who truly knows about winning. This guy's a real winner, Coach Lou Holtz. Coach, great guy. He's a great coach, but he's a great guy, too. Finally, I'm honored to introduce the person we are all here to support. The next senator from the great state of West Virginia, somebody that's going to give us a vote for what we want every single time. There won't be any question about it. Patrick Morrissey. Patrick, please come up. Patrick.
Well, thank you, President Donald Trump. Thank you, Governor Justice. Thanks to this amazing crowd for this very warm welcome. Now, I'll tell you, this guy really is making America great again, and we know he's also making West Virginia great again. Now, for far too long, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Washington liberal Joe Manchin all of these individuals and the coastal elites, they abandoned our West Virginia values. They practiced political correctness. They advanced liberal policies. They didn't put America first. But fortunately for all of us, there was one candidate, one man willing to fight back against political correctness and put America first, Donald J. Trump. This election, West Virginia has a very big decision to make. You could go back to the values of those who abandoned West Virginia, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, or Joe Manchin. Or you can stand with someone who puts you first, America first, and West Virginia first. The stakes in this election couldn't be higher. And the differences between myself and my opponent, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin, they couldn't be sharper. Guys, you have a choice. If you vote for Patrick Morrissey, you'll be electing a conservative fighter with a record of results who will advance the Trump jobs agenda. A vote for dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin? Well, all right, hang on. You're going to be empowering that same group of radical liberal obstructionists, the one you saw in the Senate circus this past week. Now, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin. Joe's got to go. Amen, brother. Up. Now, dishonest Washington liberal Joe Manchin has a history of abandoning West Virginia. He abandoned your gun rights, supporting Obama's radical gun control. He abandoned your values on life, backing Planned Parenthood. He abandoned your paychecks when he said no to the Trump tax cuts. He abandons you when he supports amnesty and when he opposed Trump's border wall. But we're going to build that wall. We're going to build that wall. But it gets worse. Joe Manchin supported Hillary Clinton even after she made clear she wanted to take away our coal, our oil, and our gas jobs. Shame on Joe Manchin. And that's why liberal Joe's got to go. Now, when I'm in the Senate, we're going to have a different approach. We're going to put West Virginia first. We're going to fight against all those unlawful and illegal regulations that hold back job creators, like the one I defeated as your Attorney General and the ones that President Trump is withdrawing. We're going to ignite the economy even more. We'll supercharge West Virginia when we make the Trump tax cuts permanent. And we're going to re-empower the people of the state of West Virginia with term limits to hold Washington politicians accountable. We'll stop the funding of Planned Parenthood, and we will. And we're going to take back our West Virginia values and end the gun grabs by the liberals in Washington. And, not insignificantly, we'll all stand for the national anthem. But I need your help. We're getting a lot of support from President Trump. In fact, because of his last trip, we're basically even in the polls. But we have a lot more work to do against the wily ways of these Washington politicians. I need you to get involved. I need you to volunteer. I need you to go online at patrickmorrissey.com and donate and help me close the gap against the liberal ATM machine of Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin. Look, this race will likely decide the balance of power in the Senate. And, amen, brother. But remember, those radicals in Washington, Schumer, Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Joe Manchin, ooh, yes, they don't want to see our president succeed. They want to obstruct, just like they did this week against Judge Kavanaugh. Ladies and gentlemen, we must confirm Judge Kavanaugh. It's time to join our team today because Joe's got to go. go. And it's my honor to stand with President Trump to fight for you. We, unlike Joe Manchin, Hillary Clinton, and the radical liberals, will never abandon our American and our West Virginia values. And the one thing you'll know is that together, this team, we're going to continue making America great again, and we'll make West Virginia great again. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Wow. Good job, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Remember this, a vote for Patrick Morrissey is a vote to stand up for West Virginia values, right? A vote for Morrissey is a vote for me and for our agenda to make America great again, or as we will soon start saying, keep America great, right? Keep it great. Keep America great. That'll be our new theme very soon. I don't know. I don't want to switch yet. A little too soon. We're not even into 2 years, right? Make America great again. I can't use it in 2020. We can't, because by that time, if we go even like half of what we've done, so we're going to have the new will be Keep America Great. Right? This is a very important election. It will decide which party controls the United States Senate. A Democrat-controlled Senate will try to take away your Second Amendment. They're going to take it away. They want to take over American health care and destroy it. They want to make us Venezuela. That's what they want to do. You'll have Venezuela, big version. Erase America's borders. You know, we fight for borders, but hey, by the way, I see the signs, finish the wall. That's a good, finish the wall. We are in the process. Just got another $1.6 billion. I want to get more, but it's coming. It's coming. We built a lot of wall already and fixed a lot of wall, but we're getting it. It's not the easiest thing, because the Democrats know it's the thing we really want. It's very much of a signature. It's a big part of what we talk about. They get in the way. I know it for a fact. They said we can't. We'll get things that are actually military. $700 billion and $716 billion. We get that. A wall is a tiny thing by comparison, but they want to fight that wall for political purposes. But we're building it, and I love the signs. Finish it. We'll get it finished. They want to kill, and this will happen as sure as you're standing or sitting. I don't know, who has a better seat, you or you? I don't know. This is a guarantee. Your coal mines and your miners are working. They will kill West Virginia coal. That's a guarantee. And they want to turn our federal courts into the political arm of the Democrat resistance. You see it. You see it. Now, Joe Manchin voted no on tax cuts for American families. He just voted no. What are you going to say? He voted no on removing Obama's job-killing regulations. By the way, we've cut more regulations. That's why you have all these jobs, record-setting jobs, more regulations than any president ever in the history of our country. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we haven't been there for 2 years. But time is flying, isn't it? Time is flying. But we've cut more than any administration, whether it was 4 years, 8 years, or in one case, much more than that. We've cut more. Joe also voted no on repealing and replacing Obamacare, which we almost had done, but I'll be nice now. We couldn't get a single Democrat vote. If we did, we would have killed it, and we would have had great health care. But we're giving you a lot of great health care anyway. If you look at the plans we're coming out with, they're great. And we got rid of the individual mandate, the worst part of Obamacare. And Joe voted yes on something that not too many people in this room like: mass amnesty. Mass amnesty. Joe refused to stand up to the Democrat resistance, the radical open border Dems, Pelosi, and their new de facto leader, the legendary Maxine Waters. The Democrat Party will stop at nothing to run your lives, run down your values, and ransack our nation's wealth. We've never done like this. They will turn it around, make it bad so fast. Getting money for the military was so tough. And to do that, we had to give them money for things that we don't want, we would never want. But now we have our military rebuilding. We've taken care of our military. We've ordered massive numbers of fighter jets and planes, ships, rockets and missiles. We make the greatest military equipment in the world. We have ordered so much that other countries look at us and they say, let's forget about them. That's what we want. We don't want wars. But the only way you don't have wars is if you have a military. That's what we're doing. We're in the process of building the strongest military we've ever had by far. The new platform of the Democrat Party. Do you notice I say Democrat Party? I hate the way it sounds. That's why I say it, because it's really their name, you know. It's not the Democratic Party. Doesn't it sound, it flows nicer? The Democratic Party, but, you know, the real name is the Democrat Party. I hate the way it sounds, and that's why I use it, but it's the real name, you know. The Democrat Party. So when you see Democratic Party, it's wrong. There's no name, Democratic Party. That's a great name. They should probably change the name if you think about it. Then I'd call them the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party is radical socialism, Venezuela, and open borders. It's now called, to me, you've never heard this before, the party of crime. It's a party of crime. That's what it is. And to pay for their socialism, which is going to destroy our country, Democrats want to raid Medicare and destroy Social Security. That's what's going to happen. Democrats want to completely destroy Medicare with so-called Medicare for all. Yeah, for about 2 months before the country goes out of business. Robbing our seniors of the benefits they paid into for their entire lives. Giving it to people that don't deserve it. Giving it, by the way, to illegal aliens who come into our country. Okay? Republicans want to protect Medicare for our great seniors who have earned it and paid for it. And I will always fight for and always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. You have to do it. You have to do it. Some people think that's not a Republican thing to do. I don't care. And I'll tell you what, all of the Republicans are coming into that position now, all of them. And we'll do it the right way, too. Pre-existing conditions are safe, okay? Just remember that. Pre-existing, tell that to the fake news media when they write. Fakers. The fakers. But we all have a good time. You know they're going to all endorse me for the next election. Have you heard? Because if they don't, and if for some reason I didn't win, every single media outlet goes bankrupt. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they had to cover Crazy Bernie? Who the hell's going to watch? Or any of them. How about Cory Booker? Did you watch the performance? He ran Newark, New Jersey, into the ground, and now he wants to be president, right? What was the moment he said he had? I don't think so. I think we take Kirk Douglas in his prime. Do we agree? I think we did. No, he ran Newark into the ground. Now he's out there acting, oh, he's so wonderful, great. Oh, I dream of these people every night. The only thing I worry about is that some total unknown that nobody ever heard of comes along. But you know what? Honestly, with what we've done on jobs, on our country, on our military, we're going to talk about our veterans, what we've done. Look at, in your case, energy. Look at what we've done on energy. With every, who the hell can beat us? I mean, who can beat us? Who can beat us? One of these people said recently, and they hated to say it, but that Trump has actually fulfilled more promises than he promised. It's true. Look what we're doing. 4.2% GDP. Every point is $3.5 trillion and 10 million jobs. And when I took it over, our country was headed south. We were going down. We were going down. You'd be, instead of 4.2, you'd be at 4.2, negative 4.2. That's the way we were headed. Perhaps nothing is more dangerous than the Democrats' push to abolish very brave people that work for us and that love us and that take care of us, called ICE. They want to abolish immigration enforcement entirely, and they want no borders. They want no borders. Let everybody just pour into our country. And you got some bad dudes coming in, but they're not coming in with us. We have set records on arrests at the borders. Nobody even close. And that's without the wall in those sections where we haven't been able to get the money because the Democrats won't approve it. You have to understand, we have very small margins. You know, they say we're the majority. The majority by what? If somebody has a cold, we can't take a vote. If you have a cold, if somebody's not feeling well, we say, let's delay the vote for 3 days. We don't have a majority. It's so close. It's so close. That's why we have to get more Republicans in. We will do something that nobody's ever seen before. The Democrat Party supports totally, they love them, sanctuary cities where crime pours in and they're protected. That unleash violent predators like MS-13 into American communities, leaving innocent Americans at the mercy of really, by the way, really ruthless animals. Really ruthless animals. Nancy Pelosi said, how dare he call a human being an animal? I'm sorry, Nancy. These are the words. They don't like guns. They like to use knives because it's more painful and it takes a long time. These are real bad people. And we're bringing them out so fast. And you know who's doing it? Who's leading the charge? Who loves doing it? ICE. Who the hell wants that job? ICE. ICE is doing the job. Right? Right. Look at it. ICE is doing that job. And these are brave people. They go into towns in Long Island where I grew up. Right next to these places. I know them all. They used to be, you'd leave your door open, you'd leave your window open, you go to sleep, nobody thinks. Now it's like a fort, but not anymore. What's happened is they go in like they're liberating a country. It's like, this is the United States. And ICE goes in, and MS-13, they're afraid of ICE. You know why? Because ICE is much tougher than they are. That's all they fear. And they go in, and they grab them by the necks and they throw them the hell into a paddy wagon and they take them either to jail or throw them the hell out of the country. It's very simple. It's very simple. And they clean out towns. They clean out towns of truly bad people, dangerous people. You saw what happened. I got to know mothers that have daughters, fathers that have daughters, in many cases daughters, and in many cases sons. But what they do to these incredible kids walking home from school, going home with books to study, do homework, and they intercept them, and they're horrible. It's horrible, and we're getting them out. But we have to. The Democrats, it's like they don't even understand that there's a problem. It's incredible. Republicans believe America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. So Republicans, not Democrats, they want to end ICE. They want to end a lot of things. Open borders. Can you believe it? How would you like this platform? We want open borders. We want high taxes. We want crime, because basically they're saying crime. So they have crime, they have high taxes, they have open borders. Oh, and by the way, and we don't want to fund the military. You have no idea how hard it is to get money for the military. It's almost impossible. That was like a full-time job. But we got that money. We got a lot of money. If the Democrats got 51 votes in the Senate, they would open our nation's borders. They would starve our law enforcement. They would starve our great law enforcement. Do we love our law enforcement? Seriously. I got a tremendous percentage of law enforcement vote. But, you know, I think I might have, do I get 100%? Let's say I didn't. Who the hell wouldn't vote for me from law enforcement? Okay? We've done a lot. We've gotten them a lot of surplus material from the military. You know, we had all this, we had hundreds of millions of dollars of surplus material. And our previous administration, under no circumstances did they want to give this to law enforcement. Because, you know, it's great equipment. It keeps the law enforcement safe, like trucks that are armored and things like that. So they didn't want to give it because they thought it presented a wrong image. I gave it. It's all out. They're all happy. We had it. It's military. We had it sitting in storage rooms all over the country, getting old and probably costing us a lot of money. We gave it out to law enforcement, and the law enforcement does like us. If you want to secure our border, if you want to stop sanctuary cities, which even in California now, they don't want to be sanctuary cities anymore. They want out. You see it. They're rebelling. In California, of all places, they're rebelling. If you want to protect American communities from really bad crime, then you need to vote Republican. Patrick, Morrissey, got to vote Republican. This election is about security, and it's about prosperity. Here are just some of our extraordinary achievements. We've done things that nobody can believe. If I would have used these numbers during the campaign, the fake news would have said, oh, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. How can he say that? If I used much lower numbers than they said that. Economic growth last quarter was 4.1, and it was just adjusted upward, 4.2%. And it's going higher, folks. It's going a lot higher. Jobless claims, that's a beauty. Jobless, think of that. Jobless claims just fell to a nearly 50-year low. Is that good? That's good, right? 50-year low. We've created over 4 million new jobs since the election. 4 million. Nobody would have said that. If I would have said, hey, we're going to create in less than 2 years, they would have said, you got to be kidding. Look at this. How about this one? We've lifted almost 4 million Americans off of food stamps. Wow. Pretty good, right? Now, number one, we're taking care of people. Number two, it doesn't cost us anything. I mean, that 4 million people, that's a lot of money it costs. We've added it will soon be 600,000 new manufacturing jobs. We weren't supposed to be adding jobs. We weren't supposed to be adding manufacturing jobs. And I'll tell you what, the most incredible of everything is we are doing things with manufacturing, companies are pouring back into our country. And they're coming back into your state. They're going to Michigan. They're going to Ohio right here. They're going to Pennsylvania and North Carolina and South Carolina. I was with Prime Minister Abe of Japan. He's got many companies moving in. I said, look, we have a big deficit with you. We take care of your military, and we have a deficit. What's going on? He said, we are moving many companies into the United States. And he is, and he's been. And many, if you look, just take a look, many countries are doing that because I don't like having deficits with every country. And China, we're taking them on very strongly. First time ever. Very strongly. And they either open it up to make it fair and don't charge us what they're doing because that's no good, or we just don't do business with them. It's a very simple thing. And in 4 months, they've gone way down, and I don't want them to go way down. I have great respect for President Xi, and I have great respect for China, but they have not treated us well. We lost, over the years, $500 billion. We'd go 250, 300, 400, 500, 525 billion. We rebuilt China. How stupid are we? No, how stupid are we? We build a car and we send it to China and they charge a tariff or a tax of 25%. They build a car and they send it to the U.S. and it's 2.5%, but we don't charge them. They don't have to pay. And I said, why don't they have to pay at least a 2.5? Nobody could tell me why. Nobody. So think of it. They charge us 25%, right? We charge them nothing. Other than that, it's a very fair deal. Now, how stupid is it? So the stupid days are over, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Saudi Arabia. They're great. King Solomon. I spoke to him this morning, a long talk. And I said to him, King, you got trillions of dollars. Without us, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe you're not going to be able to keep those airplanes. Because you know what? They'd be attacked. With us, they are like, safe. Totally safe. But we don't get what we should be getting. We're subsidizing their military. I said, let me ask you a question. Why are we subsidizing the military of these really wealthy countries? It's one thing where a country's in deep trouble and danger, and it's a horrible thing going on, and it could be something really ugly, and, hundreds of thousands, millions of people could be killed. That's one thing. But when you have wealthy countries like Saudi Arabia, like Japan, like South Korea, why are we subsidizing their military? They'll pay us. The problem is nobody ever asked. Nobody ever asked. They don't ask. I mean, with South Korea, we're paying about 60% of their military costs. They buy a missile system. Oh, by the way, we're doing great with North Korea, I have to tell you. We're doing it. These dishonest people back there. So I left. What did I do? Was I there like 3 months ago? So for 80 years, they've been working on this stuff. And for 25 years, they've been working on missiles and nuclear. They got nowhere. They wouldn't even answer our president's phone calls. When they called, they told them, don't call us. And yes, I agree, the rhetoric was unbelievably harsh at the beginning. But we have a very good relationship. We were going to war with North Korea. That was what was going to happen. Millions of people would have been killed. President Obama told me when I sat just before taking office, he said the single biggest problem this country has is North Korea. And he said he was, very close to going to war. But fortunately, his time was up. Okay, his time was up. We would have been in a war. Millions of people would have been killed. I mean, you have Seoul. 30 million people right off the border, 30 miles away. Millions of people would have been. And yes, I came in and took a very hard position. Very hard position. And you know what? Now we have this great relationship, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But if you think, so the fakers are saying, like, they don't know what to do. I got the hostages back for nothing. Obama paid $1.8 billion for, you know. I got it back for nothing, right? We got the remains of our great heroes back for many, many years. You don't have any more nuclear testing. In fact, they're closing up a lot of the sites. You don't have rockets going up. You don't have missiles going up. And you have people. I like him, he likes me. I guess that's okay. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? We've come a long way since you know the term, right? We've come a long way. But we could have been in something. Now, I'm not saying what's going to happen. Who knows? We're going to have another meeting. Chairman Kim would like to have another meeting. We'll have a meeting. You know what they did? The other day on a good network, I heard one of the anchors say, "Why has President Trump given up so much?" I didn't give up anything. Really. I didn't give up anything. What did I give up? I gave up nothing. Why have I given up? The only thing I gave up was I agreed to meet. Boy, we lost a lot, right? In other words, I agreed to meet. I gave up nothing. They're just fakers. They don't know what to do. It's driving them crazy. They're loco. It's driving them crazy. We gave up so much. Now, Obama, with the Iran deal, gave him $150 billion and gave $1.8 billion in cash. In cash. In cash. You know how much money that is? And nobody said he gave up too much, except me. That's why I ended the deal, okay? I ended the deal. Gave it to him in cash. You ever see, like, with a promotion where you have $100 bills, you have $1 million? It's like twice the size of this thing. That's for $1 million in $100 bills, right? It's twice the size of the podium. Like, exactly twice the size. Can you imagine $1.8 billion? Where the hell do you get $1.8 billion in cash? And don't let anyone tell you it wasn't for the hostages, unless he had something, or maybe he did have something else in mind. So, we are doing great. That was a big, big problem. And you know the interesting, when I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll say, Donald Trump said they fell in love. How horrible. How horrible is that? So unpresidential. And I always tell you, it's so easy to be presidential, but instead of having 10,000 people outside trying to get into this packed arena, we'd have about 200 people standing right there. Okay? It's so easy to be presidential. All I have to do is, thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you all. You're great Americans. 1,000 points of light, which nobody has really figured out. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hasn't that been exciting? How is West Virginia? In the meantime, everything's going to be dying, your coal, everything else. No, we got to keep it going the way it's going. Do we agree? Do we agree? Get Patrick in there. We got to keep it going because we have something going that nobody's ever seen before. You know, every foreign leader that comes to see me in the White House, of which I see a lot, but every foreign leader, and I see a lot because usually they're treating us unfairly with military, meaning we're paying for their military, and I'm saying why? Because we're redoing all of that. We're not going to do it. I said, Saudi Arabia, you're rich, you got to pay for your military. We'll take care of it. We'll be good. You got to pay for your military. Sorry. Nobody ever asked a question. And I have generals, you know, it's called the military-industrial complex. They're great people. They're warriors, but they're not into the world of finance. So I say, General, how much are they paying for this missiles? Sir, we are paying for it. Why? Sir, we're paying because they are our allies. I said, yeah, but why else? Sir, trade. I said, yeah, but we lost $100 billion last year on trade with this. Why are we doing this yet? And people slowly but surely, I'm telling you, big difference. And you see GDP numbers now at 4.2? When we straighten out these horrible trade deals and these horrible military deals that we have, forget it. Off the charts. Household income among Hispanic Americans has just set a new record high. Think of that. Income. Since my election, and you've heard this many times, I'm very proud of it, because I used to go around saying, what do you have to lose? Vote for me instead of a Democrat, right? Vote for me. African American, Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment have all reached the lowest levels ever recorded in our history. Right? Right? The poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans, it's been incredible. They've all reached their lowest levels in the history of our country. Think of it. Now, who the hell's going to beat me? I mean, I'm saying African Americans have the lowest unemployment rate in history. Why would somebody do well? I think, and we have Kanye West, we have a lot of support. Big Jim Brown, how about Big Jim Brown? How good was he? If he was playing today, he'd make $1 trillion. And he'd stand for the flag, too, I tell you. I know him. Great. Unemployment for Americans without high school diplomas, that's a big thing, recently reached the lowest rate ever recorded. The women's unemployment rate in the United States recently reached its lowest rate in over 65 years. This is something that's personal to you and some other states. We repealed President Obama's federal coal moratorium. We ended the coal crushing stream protection rule, which was killing you. It sounds so beautiful. The EPA's so-called a killer, Clean Power Plant. It was a killer. It was costing this country a fortune. It was a total killer. Has such nice names, such a nice title. It put everybody out of business. And it took away our strength. It took away our wealth. And I withdrew the United States from the job-killing, very unfair, and very, very expensive Paris Climate Accord. Another one a killer. These are killers. They were putting our country out of business. We've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal. And in just the last year, our coal exports have skyrocketed. This is exports to other countries by 60%. You believe that? The United States is now the #1 energy producer in the world. That happened just recently. A lot of money in that. We're fixing the one-sided trade deals that have stolen American jobs, drained American wealth. It's been a massive transfer of wealth out of our country. We're bringing it all back. They're all coming back. We've reached a deal to replace the horrible NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals ever, with a brand new U.S.-Mexico trade deal. And we'll see what happens with Canada if they come along. Good. They have to be fair. Right now they have tariffs over 300% on dairy products. That's like a barrier. They have to be fair. But we've made the deal with Mexico, and it's a great deal for both countries. NAFTA was the worst deal. Just this week, I signed a groundbreaking new trade deal with South Korea that will dramatically increase exports of American-made goods. I said, you got to open up your country. Now, the Democrats will look at any of these deals. They won't read them. They won't know anything about them. They'll just say, yeah, I guess I'd do it if I was them too. They'll say, what do you think of the deal? It's no good. It's terrible. Oh, have you read it? Don't ask me that question. These deals are unbelievable. These deals are so good for us. You're not going to have companies leaving our country, firing everybody, and then selling their product back into the United States with no taxes. Not going to happen anymore. And thanks to our very strong position on tariffs, because I want them to negotiate with us, we've saved American aluminum and American steel companies. They are thriving. American Steel is building plants all over the country. Steel workers are back, and the miners are supplying the metallurgic coal. We don't need foreign steel. What happens if we're in a conflict? What are we going to do? Get our steel from some foreign country? Oh, by the way, we need steel. We need aluminum. There are certain things you need. And we're hiring a lot of people. And you know what? Our treasury is getting loaded up with money because billions of dollars will be flowing in because we charge 25% when they dump. You know, when they dump steel, what they want to do is put our steel companies out of business. Then they sell us steel at prices that are so high. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the jobs created. And nobody wants to talk about all the money that's flowing in to the coffers of the United States of America. They don't like to talk about it. And the people that are against it are usually having, you go to these other countries, they have companies there too. And many of these people, well, we like free trade. So I'll say, even to congressmen and senators, let me ask you a question. So we have a country, take India, good relationship. They want to make a deal now because they don't want me to do what I'm going to do if I have to. So they call us. They didn't want to make a deal with anybody else. But I said, so take India. So you talk about free trade. So let's say they charge us 60% tariff on a product. And for the same product, when they send it in, we charge them nothing. So now I want to charge them 25% or 20 or 10 or something. What do you think? That's not free trade. We don't like it. I say, where are these people coming from? Now think of it. Where are they coming from? And you have no idea how difficult it is. Where are they coming? So India, just to use as an example, I could give you others that are brutal. Just brutal what they do to us. How they take advantage of the stupidity. We never even had people negotiating. They just do whatever they want. But take India. So they charge us 60%, right? 60%. We charge them nothing. And when I say I'm going to put a 25% tariff on just to make it a little bit fairer, they say that's not free trade. I said, where do you come from? Remember this. A lot of the people that are fighting me and what I'm doing have ownership of companies in these other countries. Remember that, please, okay? Remember that. Or they're represented by lobbies. So the steel people love me, the coal people love me, many people love me. You know who loves me? Our country has never done better. That's who loves me. Crazy. So to give our workers and businesses, just in finishing up, a level playing field, Republicans passed the biggest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We passed something else that I love, right to try. You know what right to try is? That's where somebody's terminally ill. We have a pipeline of some of the greatest products, and we couldn't get them. We couldn't use them. Person's going to die in 4 months. We couldn't use them. For 45 years, they've been trying to get this passed. Not that easy. Not that easy. I got to pass, right to try. Somebody's terminally ill. They can take now. They have to sign a clause and things, and they now don't have to travel to parts of the world. We passed Veterans' Choice, giving us Veterans' Choice, giving our veterans the right to see a private doctor if they're standing in line for 4 weeks, right? They couldn't get it passed. This has been going on for 45 years. They couldn't get it passed. Veterans, our greatest people. These are people. Any veterans here? Veterans? It was very tough. 45 years they couldn't, we got it passed. So now instead of waiting online for 3 weeks and dying, in many cases, believe it or not, they start off, they're okay, they wait so long to see a doctor, they end up becoming terminal, they end up dying. They now go out and see a doctor, we paid the bill, it's great. Passed, we passed. We also passed the landmark VA Accountability Act so that all these bad players that were in the VA, we fire them so fast when they're bad. You didn't have the right to fire anybody. They could do anything. I just signed legislation to completely rebuild all of our military. And I told you about that, and you know what? It's so important to me. So important to me. So important. We have tanks, we have ships, we have everything. So important. And at my direction, the Pentagon is working right now as we speak to create a sixth branch of the United States Armed Forces called the Space Force, right? Space Force. I withdrew the United States from the horrible one-sided Iran deal, and Iran is not the same country right now, folks. And they better not do nuclear. They better not. It's not the same country. We've all recognized the true capital of Israel recently when I opened the American Embassy in Jerusalem. Right? And I've just come from a tremendously successful trip. I've done a lot of trips from the United Nations to Saudi Arabia to China to UK, European Union, all over the world, and every one of those means a lot of jobs and a lot of income coming into our country that nobody ever did before. Nobody ever did it. I made clear that we will never sacrifice America's sovereignty to unelected, unaccountable, foreign bureaucrats. I'm not going to do it. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine. You know what I'm saying? The doctrine of, let's put it this way, we love our country. That's our doctrine. You can call it patriotism, but it's really the doctrine of we love our country. For years you watched as your leaders apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America. We are standing up for your values. We are standing up for West Virginia. We are standing proudly for our national anthem. To continue our momentum, to protect your family, your borders, your Constitution, and your country, you need to get your friends, get your family, get your co-workers, and get out and vote for Patrick Morrissey. Get out and vote Republican. And if you aren't registered, register right now. You got to register here. And the deadline to register is October 16th. Hate to break up this by saying that, but those are the facts. Register. October 16th, loyal citizens like you helped build this country. And together we are taking back our country and returning power to where it belongs, to the American people. This great state was built by tough pioneer men and strong pioneer women. These brave West Virginia patriots ventured out into the wilderness and up into the mountains to build a beautiful home, a life, and a dream. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of luxury. But they all had one thing in common. They loved their families, they loved their country, and they loved their God. True. We stand on the shoulders of these courageous Americans. Your ancestors did not pour out their blood, sweat, and tears so that we could sit at home while others try to erase their legacy and destroy our proud American heritage. That's what the Democrats are trying to do with their crazy policies. Just like the pioneers and patriots who came before us, we are going to work, we are going to fight, and we are going to win for our families, for our flag, and for our freedom. The revolution that you began in 2016, and it was a revolution, and even these people will admit that was a revolution like they've never seen before. That was a revolution that was, they came from the hills and they came from the valleys, they came from everywhere. And at the end of that evening, they said, hate to tell you this, a lot of bad things are happening tonight for the Democrats. That was one of the great evenings, not because of me, but because of you. That was one of the great evenings in the history of our country. And it's far from over. It's only just beginning. We will not bend. We will not break. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never surrender. And we will always fight on to victory, victory, victory. Because we are America. And our hearts bleed red, white, and blue. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. President Donald Trump had an amazing speech. This was a lot longer than normal Trump rally speeches. This one went on for a little bit longer, which is awesome. It was a great way to have a Saturday morning, afternoon, noon, or wherever you're at in the world and you're watching this. Thank you so much for choosing us as your stream of choice here at Golden State Times. If you are new to our channel, make sure you guys subscribe and click the notification bell. That way you get a heads up. There's four other Trump rallies. One's going to happen on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and one next Saturday. So make sure you guys stay tuned live here at Golden State Times. If you guys would like to help out Golden State Times, get to the next Trump rally, make sure that you guys, support us through PayPal or also through the Super Chat. Thank you so much, like I said, for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. Our PayPal is paypal.me/GST live. Again, that's paypal.me/GST live. Thank you so much again for your support. Thank you so much for your contributions and also for sharing the live stream on social media. All that helps out the channel immensely. So thank you so much for all of your support. From all of us here at Golden State Times, we would like to say have a good afternoon, a good night, a good weekend, and we'll see you guys here bright and early on Monday and also on Monday afternoon for another Trump rally live here at Golden State Times. Thank you so much. Again, if you guys would like to help out Golden State Times get to the next Trump rally, we need contributions, folks. There's no other way that we can get to the next Trump rally. There's so many of them. So we need to get as much help as we can possibly get. If you would like to help out Golden State Times, using the super chat feature on the chat itself is a good way of doing it. It's the money sign right next to the smiley face on the chat, underneath where you type on the chat. You can make a contribution. That way you can also do it through PayPal, which is paypal.me/GST live. If any of the moderators can please post it on the chat, that will be amazing. Thank you so much. Again, we need as many contributions as we possibly can so we can get to the next Trump rally. So thank you so much in advance.